All right. Okay, so I hope that we are live. Let me just check it. Perfect. Okay, so hi, hello, good evening, my dear students. How are you? I hope that everybody is in the best of their health. And I'm Ritika, your chemistry educator, bringing with me a very amazing and a very important session for all the students of grade 9 ICSE. So I welcome you all here, and students, as you know that you are going to have your term 2 examinations very soon. So it's high time that we take our preparation seriously and we start with our revision, right? And of course, Unacademy is here to help you. So in this month of February, we will be doing various sessions that will particularly be kind of revision session and important question sessions on YouTube, as well as special classes, as well as in the plus courses. Okay, so I will be telling you about everything from YouTube to plus class to the special classes and how you can join in there. Okay, now let's quickly begin. So I'm Ritika, chemistry educator on an academy, and I have completed my engineering in electronics and communication. Okay, students, if you want to need some assistance in the homework, or if you need any help in the class notes, you can join me on my Telegram channel. Okay, so over here you will be getting some of the important notes, some of the important questions related to your examination, and also to receive the regular updates of all the sessions and all the offers, ongoing offers. Please join the official Telegram channel of Unacademy ICSE and ISC. So you can click on the links which are provided in the description box and you can join the channels. Okay, so kindly join it to stay updated. Okay, now let's quickly start with our chapter, with our session of pollution. Okay, now students, if I talk about our environment, right? So what environment includes? Our environment, it is a kind of combination of the physical and the biological world that we are living in. Correct? It combines air, water, land, etc. etc. Okay, so basically it comprises of the physical and biological world that we live in. And this environment, it has of course provided us with all the important things which are necessary to sustain our life. Okay, but as we are moving towards modernization, right, as we are, excelling in the industrial activities or maybe modes of transport, we are in some way or other degrading the environment. Now how is it happening? Let me tell you. So see, as we are excelling in industrial activities or modes of transport, we are adding some of the harmful substances in the environment. Okay, and these substances, these can be toxic, and they are called as, or they can be known as, the principal cause of pollution. Okay, so whatever substances which in some way is degrading the environment or providing kind of harm to the environment, these become the principal cause of pollution. Okay, now talking about what actually is meant by environmental pollution or how we can define it. So environmental pollution, it is the effect, or I can say it is a result of all the bad or the changes that we do not need. That means all the undesirable changes happening in our surroundings. Okay, and that is of course having a kind of bad or harmful effect on the plants, animals, as well as human beings. Correct? So we can define environmental pollution as one of the effect of undesirable change in the surroundings. Okay, and the effect it is having some of the harmful effects on the plants, animals, and human beings. This word pollution, it is derived from Latin word pollutes. Okay, and this actually means to make anything dirty. Okay, now what is meant by pollutant? So pollutant, it is related, or it is meant for all the toxic and the harmful substances which are having a kind of bad impact, which degrade the environment, okay, which is having which is not having a very good impact. That means it can degrade anything, or it can lead to some loss, okay. So it degrades the different components of environment, and they are known as pollutants. So basically, pollutants are what? The toxic and harmful substances which are having undesirable impact on environment and the life forms. Okay, so kindly remember these definitions. Okay, these could be asked as define environmental pollution, or maybe define pollutants, etc. in your examination. Okay, now talking about how to categorize the pollution. Okay, how to categorize the pollutants. Okay, so how they are origin, okay, how they come into existence. We can have two type of pollutants. The very first is natural, and the second one is man-made. Okay, now what do we mean by natural source of air pollutant? Natural sources are which, which come from nature. Okay, we humans do not have any basic role in that. So the natural sources of air pollutants, it can be volcanoes. Okay, now how volcanoes? Whenever volcano eruption takes place, right? So we know that there comes out various, magma, lava, and apart from it, there are many pollutants. Okay, pollutants, in the case, there are large number of gases. Okay, now if I talk about the gases, we can have carbon monoxide or hydrogen sulphide or different hydrocarbons, okay, which are not very necessary in our environment, and they are added as a pollutant. Okay, so when volcano eruption takes place, there is a large amount of pollutants which come up in the environment or atmosphere, such as carbon monoxide or sulfur dioxide or hydrogen sulfide, chlorine, hydrocarbons, and particulate matters. Okay, next is decaying vegetation. So what do we mean by decaying vegetation? Whenever there is something, kind of organic matter, okay, and it has started to decay. Okay, so that means what? There are various microorganisms which are acting on it. Okay, so when these microbes act on any organic matter, they will be releasing a pollutant which is nitrous oxide. Okay, and nitrous oxide acts as a pollutant, which is again a natural source. Next is the man-made source of air pollutant. Now, students, in the natural source of air pollutants, we can also have forest fires, right? So when basically there are forest fires, they will be releasing large amount of carbon monoxide, which is a principal cause of air pollution. And also some of the times when there is, wind or dust storms, okay, they are having with them various dust particles or particulate matters or sand, so they also contribute in the pollution. After that, we have man-made sources of air pollutants. So if I talk about we as humans, how we do, how do we pollute the environment first? And the very, I can say, bigger cause is automobiles and factories, right? So if I talk about the automobiles or factories, they are, in the case of automobiles, they are using diesel or petrol as fuel. So whenever these fuels undergo incomplete combustion, okay, they will be releasing different type of gases. Okay, they will be releasing, let's say, carbon monoxide or sulfur dioxide or some hydrocarbons or lead particles, etc. Okay, and they are the pollutants. Okay, next is talking about the factories. So there are various factories, and they release different type of gases again, nitrogen monoxide or particulates or sulfur dioxide or carbon dioxide, etc., etc., which again are the cause of pollution. Now talking about how industrial process, or how we can have pollutants from the factories. So which industry is it? Okay, it really depends on which type of air pollutant it is giving up. Okay, now if I talk about the fertilizer industry, okay, we will be getting nitrogen oxides and ammonia from that, which are a principal cause of pollution. If the industry is related to coal, that is coal power plant, uh, ma'am, oxides of carbon and sulphide are major pollutants of air. Yes, they are, and we are also going to right now discuss that how do oxides of carbon and sulfur harm the environment. Okay. Yeah. So as I was talking about the coal power plants, whenever there are power plants related to coal and there are some, have the products or anything which require coal. Okay, so what happens, they release carbon monoxide or sulfur dioxide or ash, smoke, etc., which again are the cause of pollution. Now, if I talk about the rural areas, okay, rural areas, basically we have pollutants such as methane or carbon monoxide. Why? Because when the crops decay, okay, so it releases or the methane or carbon monoxide. Also, we burn various fuels, okay, so they become the cause of pollution. And next is when we burn the plastic. So plastic is a non-biodegradable substance, right? So we cannot decompose plastic, so many times people tend to burn plastic, which releases the carbon monoxide and some of the other harmful gases into the atmosphere. Okay, so this is basically how the atmosphere, it gets damaged, it gets polluted. Now talking about air pollution, so we know there are different type of pollutions, right? It can be air pollution, soil pollution, water pollution, etc., etc. So we are going to talk right now about air pollution. Now air pollution means what? Whenever the quality of air, it gets degraded, it gets bad. Why will it get bad? See, if I'm talking about air, it has got a particular concentration. Okay, this is the particular, or I can say the normal concentration of air. Okay, it is having nitrogen approximately 78%, oxygen 21%, argon 0.9%, carbon dioxide 0.043%. Okay, so this is the basic, I can say, composition of air. Now, what will happen if this composition, it is altered? And that means some gases, they will be increasing in volume, okay, some will be decreasing in volume, and that becomes the principal source of pollution. Okay, so air pollution actually means what? It is the degradation of air quality. Why? Because of the harmful contaminants which are present in the air, and they again affect the human, plant, and animal lives. Okay, so if I talk about the composition of air, and if it get disturbs, it is not only disturbing the human life, it disturbs plants in some way, it disturbs animals in some way, and then the whole atmosphere, it is polluted. Now we will be seeing how does this pollution happens and why is it caused. Okay, so if I talk about air, it is composed of various gases, right? So air pollution, it could be caused only because of the gaseous pollutants. Okay, so we are having different oxides of sulfur, nitrogen, or carbon. There are different hydrocarbons, spray, fume, mist, fog, etc., etc. So these all things combiningly contribute to the air pollution. Okay, and then we say the air, it is polluted. All right, now we will be talking about what are the different gaseous pollutants and what are their effects in the nature. If I talk about sulfur dioxide, so it basically affects the yield of crops and it can cause damage to the lungs. So there are two things. First, it can affect the crop growth, okay, and it can damage lungs. So what are these questions, how can these questions arrive in your exams? So you can have that, what is the effect of sulfur dioxide, okay, on the environment. Okay, next, if I talk about hydrogen sulphide, so it also in some way affect the yield of crop, that is it reduces the growth. Okay, and it can cause eye irritation. Okay, so it can irritate human eye. Then if I talk about fluoride, so fluorides, they are basically causing the teeth and bone destruction. Okay, they affect our teeth and bone, and they also disturb the vegetation. Correct. After that we have lead. So first of all, how lead, it enters into the atmosphere. Okay, so it enters the atmosphere from the vehicles. Okay, and this lead, it can impair or it can disturb the body's metabolic functions. Okay, then we have carbon monoxide. So it has got a very bad role. Okay, it prevents the hemoglobin from entering into the or from carrying the oxygen to different parts of body. Okay, so these are the basic pollutants, and it is the we have seen the basic reasons or basic ways how they can pollute the environment. Okay, now if I talk about the pollutants, okay, they can lead to air pollution. Okay, and what are the different pollutants? We can have various oxides of nitrogen, hydrocarbons, sulfur oxides, hydrogen sulphide, carbon monoxide, and particulate matters. Okay, now let's talk about smog. So what is a smog basically? Okay, so smog, it is composed of, first of all, it is a combination of, now see, what are the things which are combined in smoke? We have oxides of nitrogen, then we can have oxides of sulfur. Okay, we are also having over here partially oxidized hydrocarbons. Okay, then we can have the various gases which are produced from industries or automobiles. Okay, so they all combine. Okay, so they all first of all combine, and what do they form? They form a kind of dark, thick, and soot laden fog. Okay, which is known as smoke. Okay, now smoke is again a very bad addition to our environment. Okay, it can be noxious, it can be irritating, it can, okay, if I talk about the effects of the smoke that we have, it can be irritating, it can kind of reduce the visibility. Okay, it can cause some of the respiratory problems. Okay, and sometimes in the rare cases it also causes death. Okay, because of the suffocation. So let's again see what is the meaning of smog. The smog basically, it is a combination of different oxides of nitrogen, sulfur, partially oxidized hydrocarbons. Okay, and the industrial smoke. Okay, the factory smoke, when they all combine to form a dark soot laden fog, which is known as smog. Okay, that is again one of the major source of pollutant. Okay, now this smog, it is very irritating. It can cause the reduction in visibility, it can cause respiratory problems, and it can sometimes cause death due to suffocation. Now let's talk about the different sources and how they are acting as air pollutants. Okay, now, talking about nitrogen oxide. So, we have first of all nitric oxide and nitrogen dioxide. Now, how do they enter into the atmosphere? The first question is this. So, oxides of nitrogen, they are entering into the atmosphere. First of all, when we burn the fuel in furnace, okay, what happens? Whenever we are, burning the fuel, the temperature, of course, it increases. Okay, now at high temperature, what happens? The oxygen which is present in the air, it combines with the nitrogen and it will form what? The oxides of nitrogen. Correct. So this is the very first way. The next way is whenever in the internal combustion engine the fuel is burning. Okay, what happens over here? There are various oxides of nitrogen which are produced. Okay, and from the exhaust, okay, they are entering into the earth's atmosphere. Okay, okay, so basically they enter into the earth's atmosphere from the automobile engine. Correct. After that, we have nitric acid. So, how is first of all nitric acid formed? This nitric acid, it is formed when the reaction happens between the atmospheric nitrogen and oxygen. And what is the condition that is needed? We need a kind of electrical discharge. Okay, and that happens in the okay. So that happens in the thunderstorm and lightning. Okay. Now let's see what happens. Nitrogen and oxygen. okay, which is present in the Nishi, I'm not very clear. What do you want to say? Could you please be clear? Okay, so nitrogen and oxygen, okay, which we have in the presence of lightning, we get NO. Now, how do we get the nitric acid from this? So, what happens? This nitric oxide that we have, okay, just a minute. Yeah. So this nitric oxide that we got, okay, it will be reacting with the oxygen which is present in the atmosphere. Okay. And it will be forming what? Nitrogen dioxide. Okay. And from this nitrogen dioxide, this is again a source of course, the pollution. Okay. And we can also have it with the combination of ozone. We will be having nitrogen dioxide plus oxygen. So these are the basic source of pollution. Okay. Now, next is how this nitrogen oxide, it is harmful for our environment. What is the problem with it? So first of all, it can cause irritation to this mucous membrane in humans. Okay. Then the second problem we can have is if we are having large concentration of nitrogen oxide, dioxide, we can have lung problems. Okay. All right. Hi Piyush. Hello. Okay. So if I talk about the large concentrations of nitrogen dioxide, we can have various lung diseases. Okay. Also, it can cause a degradation in the vegetation. Okay. So it's not only damaging animals or humans, it is in some way damaging the yes, Piyush, of course. So we have the special class learners over here. So thank you. Please try to share the links also so that many students can join the classes. Okay. All right. So moving on to nitrogen dioxide, they cause serious injury to vegetation. It will be damaging the plant leaves. That means it is damaging the plants. Okay. Now what happens in the presence of sunlight? This nitrogen dioxide, it will oxidize the hydrocarbon and it will be forming photochemical smog. Okay, this photochemical smog, it is again very harmful in various ways. Why? Because they can cause eye irritation, they can cause asthma attacks and infections in the nose and throat. Okay, so this is how it is harmful to us. Now, next talking about how is sulfur bad for us, how it is a pollutant. So if I talk about hydrogen sulfate, okay, it's sulphide, I'm sorry. Okay, so hydrogen sulfide, it is produced by the dead or decaying organic matter. Okay, we have rotten vegetables, we have sewage, and some of the industrial waste or factory waste. Okay, so these release the hydrogen sulfide. Okay, so this is H2S over here. Okay. Then if I talk about sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide, whenever the combustion happens, okay, combustion of sulfur containing fuel. So like if I talk about coal, if I talk about oil, they all are containing sulfur, okay, and whenever combustion happens, what happens? Sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide are produced. Okay, and also whenever the sulphide ores undergo the metallurgical purposes, we are having the sulfur dioxide, sulfur trioxide, which are produced and which in some way or other pollute the environment. Correct. Now talking about, okay, we just now saw that how sulfur is entering into the environment. Now what is the problem that we have from sulfur? Okay, all right, I'll be telling you that, but before that, let's know a bit about Unacademy's free special class. So students, for accessing the Unacademy free special class, first of all, you need to download Unacademy Learner app. Okay. Now, on this app, okay, you will be getting this app, of course, on Play Store or App Store. When you download it, okay, you can see or you can have a watch of your classes. Okay. Now, what's so special about these classes? First of all, you can have a live or real-time interaction with your educators. Okay, we are having various chat options, various emojis by which you can have a connection, or you can have a communication with your teachers or educators. Also, you can ask the question using question tab. So we are having a question tab. Okay, you can see, you can either type your question or you can attach an image. Okay, and you can clear your doubts. After this, we are also having poll option. Now, what is poll? It is basically question that are asked by educators, and you get certain options and you are required to select the options from the given. Okay. Not only this, you can have a competition. You can have, we have a leaderboard option by which you can, try to see and you can understand what's your position among various learners and what do you need to improve, and also you can discuss if you have any doubt with your educators. Okay, if I talk about the special class timetable, so tomorrow on 12th February, students, at 5:15 p.m. we are going to have a very important session, that is a poll war on periodic table. So what is a poll war? Basically, we are going to have some of the MCQ type of questions. Various students will be participating. Okay, and we will be having a question answer session basically. Correct? Now talking about the Unacademy subscription. So why should you go for plus subscription? See students, there are certain reasons, there are certain things that you get in the Unacademy subscription. First of all, you get to learn from the comfort of your home. You are going to have the unlimited access to all the courses. Okay, now you are taught by top educators at one very platform, and not just the regular classes. We have various doubt sessions and answer writing sessions. So in these sessions you are told how to write answers in effective manner. Also, your syllabus gets covered. Okay, you are under the mentorship and guidance of your educators, and you receive all the study material in the PDF format. Apart from this, we can have practice tests, batch courses, etc. And apart from all these things, we are having daily practice section, weekly mock test, live quizzes, MCQs, and subjective test series. Okay, now students, you can take the Unacademy Plus subscription. First of all, you can choose the duration as per your convenience. You can go for 3 month or 6 month, 12, 24, anything. Okay, and you can use my code, that is RITIKACLIVE, for having the extra 10% discount. Okay, so kindly go and take the Unacademy Plus subscription and avail all the benefits that you get over there. Okay, now talking about how is the sulfur oxide, the oxides of sulfur, harmful. So first of all, it can cause headache, it can cause vomiting, and in some rare cases, it can cause death due to respiratory failure. Again, it destroys the vegetation, so it is affecting the plant life also. Okay, and it can weaken the building material and constructions. And what happens in the environment, it can mix with smoke and fog and it forms smoke. So we saw how is smoke harmful to us, correct? Now, next is it is oxidized by atmospheric oxygen into sulfur trioxide, which combines with water to form sulfuric acid, which is the main cause of acid rain. Now, see what is happening. We are having sulfur dioxide, okay, in the gaseous form. It is combining with oxygen, okay. So, it forms what? Sulfur trioxide. And this sulfur trioxide, it combines with the water which comes to the earth as various forms of precipitation, and it forms sulfuric acid. And sulfuric acid, it is the main cause of acid rain. Okay, now we will be seeing how is acid rain harmful to us, but before that, let's move on to carbon monoxide. So carbon monoxide, first of all, hi Yasmin, hello. Okay, so carbon monoxide, first of all, it is formed by incomplete combustion of fuels in homes, in factories and automobiles. Okay. Now this gas, carbon monoxide, it is really highly poisonous gas. Okay. Now how is it poisonous, and how it can harm us? When we inhale this gas, okay, it will pass from our lungs directly into the bloodstream. There it will be combining with oxygen, I'm sorry, hemoglobin. And what is the effect? It will just cut out the oxygen, okay, from being carried in the blood. Okay. So when just a minute, yeah. So if I talk about hemoglobin, when it combines with carbon monoxide, it forms carboxyhemoglobin. Okay. And this compound, it reduces the oxygen carrying capacity, okay, in the blood. And if I talk about the heart and brain, they are the tissues which are most affected. Okay. As soon as there is oxygen depletion, okay, they will start showing some of the serious effect. And because of this effect, okay, what can happen? Sometimes they can paralyze the body, okay, they can paralyze the brain action, and they can even cause death in some cases. Okay. So what or how is carbon monoxide harmful to us? That becomes an important question. So this carbon monoxide, when we inhale it, it passes from lungs to the bloodstream. Okay. And in the bloodstream, it combines with hemoglobin. Okay. And over there, it reduces the oxygen carrying capacity. And as soon as the oxygen is depleted, the oxygen levels are depleted, what happens? The heart and brain, they start showing the I can say the problems. Okay. They start showing the effects. Okay. And in some higher concentration, if we inhale it, okay, this person can be paralyzed. Okay. And in some cases, the death can happen. Okay, next let's talk about the acid rain. Okay, all right. So first of all, before moving on to acid rain, first let us discuss that how can we reduce this carbon monoxide pollution. Okay, now very first is we can switch on to cleaner fuels. Okay, next thing that we can have is we can try to reduce the first of all, we will be seeing that why is pollution being caused. Okay, we will be seeing the principal causes of pollution, and then we will try to just reduce that problem. Okay. And also there is a device which is available, that is catalytic converters. Okay. So catalytic converters, they can be used again, okay, to reduce or to keep a check on the pollutants. Correct. Next is the acid rain. So what is acid rain? First of all, acid rain, this is a term which is used for precipitations. Precipitations means the water that fall from the uh, uh, fall on the earth, on the ground. Okay. Now this is the rain which is slightly acidic in nature. Okay. How is it? If I talk about the normal rainwater, okay, so it will be having a pH of 5 or 5.6. Okay, this is the normal pH. And why is it slightly acidic? See, we are having carbon dioxide in the air, right? And when it reacts with water, it forms a very weak acid which is known as carbonic acid. So because of this carbonic acid, we are having the pH value of about 5.6 in the normal cases. Okay. But if this value falls down, that means from 5.6, it falls down, then we say that it has been the acid rain. Okay. Now, in the worst cases, the pH of acid rain can be as low as 2, and these are again very harmful for the environment. Okay. Now, if I talk about the causes of acid rain, okay, before that, let's see what is acid rain composed of. So, if I talk about composition of acid rain, it will be having nitric acid, it can have sulfuric acid, Okay, and how they are formed, nitric acid and sulfuric acid, when the oxides of nitrogen or sulfur, they are coming in contact or they are reacting with the rain water. Okay, all right, now moving on to the causes. Okay, so what happens whenever the fossil fuels which have, you know, nitrogen and sulfur compounds, okay, whenever they are burnt, okay, due to their combustion, okay, what happens, large amount of gases such as sulfur dioxide or nitrogen dioxide or carbon dioxide, they get into the atmosphere. Correct. Now what happens? These oxides, they will be dissolving in the rainwater, okay, and they will be forming the mineral acid. Okay. Now this mineral acid formation is the main cause of the acid rain. Okay. So we are having different acids such as carbonic acid or nitric acid or sulfuric acid. So these are the main causes of acid rain. Now, talking about formation of nitric acid, how is it formed? If I talk about nitric acid, it is formed by a combination of nitrogen and oxygen. Okay, that means oxides of nitrogen. So what happens, as I told you, nitrogen and oxygen, they combine in presence of thunder and lightning at in the presence of electrical discharge. Okay, so what is happening? The nitrogen and oxygen, they are combining at high temperature. Okay, the temperature is almost 3000 degrees Celsius. Okay, and we get the oxide. Okay, so these oxides, they will be getting oxidized by the oxygen which is present in the atmosphere. We have nitrogen dioxide. Correct. Now from this nitrogen dioxide, when it will combine with water, it will be forming nitric acid and nitrous acid. Okay. So if this nitrogen dioxide, it combines with water, what we will be getting? We will be getting nitrous acid and nitric acid, which are the causes of the acid rain. Okay. Now let's talk about how is sulfuric acid formed. Okay, so if I talk about the formation of sulfuric acid, the power plants which use the coal, okay, this coal, it contains approximately 4% of sulfur. And when these coal, it is, you know, undergoing the combustion, what happens? It forms sulfur dioxide. Next, petroleum products also, they release sulfur dioxide. And when you know, sulfur dioxide or sulfur trioxide, they are undergoing combustion. Okay, they will be reacting with water. Okay, to form the sulfuric acid. Okay, so just a minute, I'll just show you how does it happen. See, we have taken sulfur. Okay, when it combines with oxygen, we are having sulfur dioxide. Okay, and when sulfur dioxide, it combines with oxygen, we have what? Sulfur trioxide. So this happens on the combustion. Okay, now when these oxides, they react with water, what we have? So if we are having sulfur dioxide, okay, when they react with water, we have what? The sulfuric acid. Okay, and this is how it is harmful to the environment. Okay, it leads to the formation of acid rain. Okay, now talking about what is the impact of acid rain. First of all, the acid rain, it greatly affects the soil. Okay, what does it do? It removes the calcium and potassium from the soil, and these both, they are the basic ingredient of the soil. Because calcium and potassium, they are removed, the soil will lose the fertility and it will damage the forest. Okay, next is it can also cause loss of nutrients. Okay, so it can damage the leaves, and in this case also, it is somehow damaging the vegetation. Correct, hope that is clear. Next is it has got ecological impacts also. Now how it has got ecological impact? See, it is affecting water body. Why? As this acid rain, it falls into the water bodies, the water bodies, the water in that, it becomes acidic. Okay, and when this water becomes acidic, it will somehow be affecting the aquatic life. Correct. All right. Then we have the damage to the building. So you might have heard about Taj Mahal problem, right? So this is just due to acid rain. So it actually, damages the buildings or sculptural material. Okay, we are having marble, limestone, slate. Okay, these material, they have got holes in it. They become pitted. They just get weak. Okay, and what is the problem that is happening? See, in the case of marble, limestone, slate, we are having calcium carbonate, right? When it reacts with sulfuric acid, okay, so it actually reacts, and because of this reaction, what happens? The material, it gets damaged. Okay, there are holes, they have pits, they actually get weakened. Okay, so we have this reaction, and what happens over here? The sculptural material or the buildings get damaged. Next is acid rain. It also causes the corrosion of material. Okay, like we had iron gates and we have iron frames. Okay, so what happens? The rust occurs. Okay, the rust is formed on them, and eventually they get damaged. And not only the buildings and materials, okay, it is affecting humans also. Okay, so why is it affecting, or how is it affecting humans? Because when we breathe sulfur dioxide, okay, it will be irritating or it will be damaging the upper respiratory tract. Okay, and this part, it is actually used to expel the soot particles. Okay, and also it can damage the lung tissues. Okay, so this is how it is harmful to the humans. Next is how to reduce the impact of acid rain. Okay, so first of all, we can reduce this impact by checking what is the basic cause of acid rain, and then trying to reduce that. Okay, so basically we need to reduce the emission of sulfur and nitrogen oxides. Okay, so we can use the coal or oil which is having low sulfur content, and this can be done. Okay, we can also use a scrubber. So what is scrubber? Basically it is a device which absorbs the gaseous pollutant. Okay, it is used to remove sulfur dioxide. Okay, and it can absorb it, and we can have the clean air or clean gas out. Correct? All right, so this is how it is done, or how we can reduce the impact of acid rain. Now let us discuss about one of the very important topic, that is global warming. Okay, now if I talk about global warming, let's first of all know about greenhouse effect and how is it related to global warming. Okay, now if I talk about the sun's energy, okay, so approximately 75% of sun's energy, it is absorbed by the earth's surface. Okay, because of this absorption, the temperature of the earth is increasing. Okay, now this heat which is coming to the earth, it is trapped by some of the greenhouse gases. Now if I give the example of greenhouse gases, we are having methane, we are having carbon dioxide, we are having various chlorofluorocarbons. Okay, and this increase, if it is in higher or excess, it causes global warming. Okay, so basically what happens? The sun's energy, it reaches the earth, it increases the temperature when this heat is trapped by various gases. Okay, and the temperature is increased to a higher level, it causes global warming. Okay, now first of all, let's move on to the greenhouse effect. Okay, what do we mean by greenhouse effect? So heating of earth due to solar radiations, okay, which are trapped by greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide, or we can have water vapor. Okay, so it will lead to the greenhouse effect. Okay, So basically, how we can define the greenhouse effect? It is the process in which the earth gets heated up. Why? Because of the solar radiations which are trapped by the greenhouse gases. Okay, and there are various greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide, methane, chlorofluorocarbons, ozone, water vapor, etc., etc. Okay, now if I talk about the greenhouse gases. So over here, this can be asked as your MCQ, like what are the greenhouse gases you need to pick out. Okay, so if I talk about the greenhouse gases, we can have methane. Okay, we can have carbon dioxide, we can have chlorofluorocarbon, ozone, we can have the oxides of nitrogen and water vapor. Okay, so these are the various greenhouse gases. Okay, now next talking about the mechanism of greenhouse effect. Okay, now let's see how this function actually works. If I talk about the sunlight, okay, that is reaching to our Earth's atmosphere, it is consisting of three type of radiations. What are these radiations? It is ultraviolet radiation, visible radiation, and infrared radiation, right? So we are having these three radiations. Now as this sunlight, it is passing through the atmosphere, the ultraviolet radiation, it is absorbed by ozone. Okay, and approximately 30% of infrared radiation, they reach the Earth's surface. Okay, so it reaches Earth. Okay, and it will heat up the surface. Okay, so it will heat up the surface of the Earth. Okay, now what happens? See, since the surface is now heated, okay, so Earth became hot. Okay, and since it became hot, what it will do? It will start to emit the radiation. Okay, now these radiations are emitted. Okay, and what happens? These radiations are emitted with less energy, okay, and therefore longer wavelength. Okay, now some of the infrared radiations, they are able to pass through the atmosphere, they go out, okay, and some radiations, they remain on the Earth because they are absorbed by carbon dioxide. Okay, now since these radiations are present on the Earth, or they are trapped on the Earth, okay, they warm up the Earth's surface, okay, and also the lower part of atmosphere. Okay, now what are the advantages of this particular greenhouse effect? See, because of this greenhouse effect only we are able to survive. Why? Because if greenhouse effect was not there, then at the night the Earth would have become as cold as moon. Okay, so we couldn't of course survive over there. Okay, and the next reason is that for evaporation of water, for formation of cloud, for bringing up the rain, also this greenhouse effect is very important. Okay, so now you will be thinking, okay, greenhouse gases are good for us, so what is this global warming then? So what happens? This greenhouse effect is important, but if this greenhouse gases, they are increased in quantity, okay, then it leads to global warming, and that is very harmful to us. Okay, so I hope you might have understood this, and let me tell you a bit about Unacademy Prodigy students. So it's a very, very, very amazing opportunity for all of the students. Okay, now this is Unacademy Prodigy, and it is for grade 7 to 12 learners. Now, why should you participate? First of all, because you can win amazing scholarships and amazing prizes while you test your knowledge and mental ability. You can enroll yourself right now for free of cost, and the test is scheduled for 13th of February. Okay, now this is the last chance. Okay, three tests have already happened, and right now you can enroll yourself for free of cost. Okay, if you need any more information, you can join the Telegram channels. Okay, the link is provided to you in the description box. Okay. Now, the test for class 7 to 10, it is scheduled on 13 February at 12 noon. So kindly do not forget to enroll yourself, students. Okay. And what is amazing thing, you can win amazing gift hampers, amazing gift prizes and scholarships also. Okay, so we know we are studying about pollution. Okay, all right. So rank one, the student who will be getting first rank, he or she will be getting MacBook Air. The rankers two and third will be getting an Apple iPhone. The rankers 4 and 5 will be getting Apple iPad. And if you are having the rank between 6 to 40, you will be getting an Amazon Echo Dot. If your rank is falling between 41 to 100, your gift or your prize will be Amazon voucher. Okay. Now, if your rank is falling between 1 to 20, you get 100% scholarship. So that's a very amazing opportunity. Students, kindly avail it. Rank between 11 to 25, 75% scholarship. Rank between 26 to 100, 50% scholarship. Rank between 101 to 200, 25% scholarship. And finally, if your rank is 201 to 500, it's 15% scholarship. Also, students, there's a very important announcement about the starting of batches. So as you know, your final exams, your term 2 exams are approaching. So we have started the batch courses. Okay, these are the crash course batches. So crash course batches, over here we will be covering everything related to your examinations. We also will be having doubt classes and the revision classes. Okay, so over here physics is taken by Ayushi ma'am, biology is taken by Shikha ma'am, and chemistry is taken by me. And right now, if you are going to take the subscription of grade 9, I'm sorry, it's 9 here. Okay, you will be getting the subscription of grade 10, 11 and 12 absolutely free. Okay, and students, if you are having any problem or any confusion about your preparation journey, or about subscription, or you want to know about the latest offers that are going on, you can just call on this number and a counselor will be getting in touch with you and he or she will be clearing all your doubts. Okay, also taking your plus subscription, you can use my code. Okay, this is my code to get an instant 10% discount. Okay, so kindly subscribe to the channel, and if you need the PDF, you can download it. Okay, and we will be meeting in the next session now. Okay, in which I will be bringing up some more important stuff for you related to your term 2 examinations. So till then, students, kindly keep learning, keep studying. All the very best for your preparation, and let's crack it with Unacademy. Thank you. Bye bye.